So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then seem improbable, and then, when we summon the will, they soon seem inevitable. Christopher Reeve. 30th December 2010. Foundation ceremony of Gujarat's solar park. "12 months later, 28th January 2012. 214 megawatts of solar power commissioned at world's first multi-developer, multi-facility, multi-technology, multi-beneficiary solar park at Charanka village, District Patan, Gujarat. 19th April 2012. Gujarat dedicates 500 megawatt power generation capacity to the nation, as Asia's largest solar park is formally inaugurated in Gujarat.
We are doing this mainly to contribute in the war against global warming and climate change.
The story of Gujarat's solar park is a historic feat in itself. Visualized, planned, and swiftly implemented in record time of under a year, the most notable aspects were its execution and the political willingness to go the extra mile. A plethora of complexities had to be resolved before the park could see the light of day. Acquiring land, developing infrastructure, and handing over plots to individual developers had to be done simultaneously, while sensitively handling the issue of encroachment of land pockets by locals. Approach and internal roads had to be built. Reservoirs and systems for storing, treating, and distributing water had to be created. The project site fronted the desert of Kutch, and harsh weather conditions proved to be major constraints, with frequent flooding and the remoteness of the village adding to construction costs. Total quality management played a crucial part in achieving the success of the project, with a regularly monitored, web-based system specially developed to ensure the timely accessibility of both data and information. While 1,500 laborers diligently worked round the clock, developers were taken into confidence through periodic meetings where they were updated regarding the project's development and revisions at every stage. A team of experienced officials were available on-site 24/7 to promptly address clearance and approval issues. This helped to eliminate redundancies and reduce the duplication of efforts. Activities were completed within the scheduled time frame, as every member of the project worked steadfastly around bottlenecks and ensured that the project was commissioned within schedule. A win-win project for all segments, the solar park saw many far-reaching consequences. Uniquely integrating environment, infrastructure, and social perspectives, the park led to vast areas of government wasteland being put to good use, with gainful employment benefiting larger rural sections and communication networks and irrigation water flowing through villages.
This innovative approach will contribute to India's energy requirements and will create jobs and welfare without generating additional greenhouse gas emissions.
As a prime example of energy conservation, with rainwater harvesting, carbon emission reduction, and groundwater recharge happening on a continual scale, the Gujarat Solar Park at Charanka bears testimony to one truth: that harnessing divine energies is the only way forward. And having the courage to go beyond one step today is the only way to a better tomorrow. Gujarat Solar Park at Charanka, partnering a journey of brilliance.
State policy provides for the establishment of a welfare state. So the two important decisions were taken during that time, that first the electricity sector was nationalized. By the Act of 1948, the sector was nationalized. The second, the state transport, the popularly known as ST in all the states, to reach out the villages. Now with the change of time, though Indian Electricity Act provided to run all the electricity board on a commercial principle, but unfortunately over the years, it had a very different, I should say it was a total diversion, and all the state electricity board making huge loss. The policy makers after independence also, they were all focusing on the generation side because of the demand supply gap. And all the major three activities, that is generation, transmission and distribution, used to be with a electricity board. And in 1993 one policy intervention was made and the generation was opened up, because there was a huge deficit, and that was the purpose, to attract the investment on generation side to meet with the demand. But I must place on record that till 94-95, the distribution sector, which is a very important one of the segment, I must say that it was a weakest link. And therefore the financial health of electricity board, it was totally deteriorated. Even I am quite aware that in 2002, even this present Deputy Chairman Commission, Mr. Ahluwalia, when he waived the 50,000 crore losses of all the distribution company, it was the first decision to revamp or to regenerate the state utility, but unfortunately it did not happen. So the 2003 legislation has, I must place on record and I must say that it has paved the way for the power sector reforms. The Indian Electricity Act 2003 has changed the paradigm in the Indian power sector. But still, if we see even today, there are around 2 lakh crore distribution losses of all the utilities. This is highly alarming. So nowadays there is a concern that how the sector can be again pushed up. Coming to the Gujarat example, because I was also the secretary of the Gujarat Electricity Board, and this was a transition stage that the power sector reforms initiated. And Gujarat state was the first even among other states to enact our own legislation. Actually, the Gujarat state has also enacted the Gujarat Reorganization Act in 2002, but it was not passed by the State Assembly because the Electricity Act 2003 was also at the draft stage. And I am quite aware that during the process of enactment of 2003 also, one time it was referred to the standing committee because there were certain provisions where the specific provision was required to be made, particularly for the distribution side, like open access, like the provision of containing the pilferage, theft. So ultimately, I must say that the 2003 Act is a path-breaking law in the Indian history, that after 1910, this 2003 Act was enacted. I was also at the unbundling stage of the State Electricity Board, so I am aware that Orissa privatized. Andhra Pradesh, like us, they also unbundled in distribution and generation and transmission. The purpose of unbundling to the various segment of electricity was with a purpose to give a autonomy. Second was to facilitate the decision making process fast. This was the central idea. When we separated in 2005, I know that we were making loss to the tune of 2,500. And lot of measures were taken to turn around the power sector. The first, that whatever the PPAs which were earlier executed, it was renegotiated. And we started from our own PSU, like GIPCL, GSEG. So, just to bring a pressure on the private operators that they should also fall in the line. The second thing, our purchase policy, it was made transparent, so that all the segment, more particularly the distribution. Earlier I am aware that because in distribution side there were certain articles like that, suppose if the transformers are not there, like CTPT is not there, conductor is not there, then you cannot either release a connection or you cannot make the system improvement. So with the unbundling the Gujarat sector, one can see that from the day one, means from the 2005 itself, the Gujarat utility started making profit because of various measures. But I share at many a place that the success of a power sector, maybe a generation or a transmission, it absolutely lies on the financial health, operational efficiency of the distribution companies. And the Indian Electricity Act, as the Constitution provides in the preamble, likewise, the preamble of the Indian Electricity Act also says that ultimately the consumers are the important stakeholders. So the mandate for the distribution company is to give a reliable, quality power with affordable price. That is very important. To improve the operational efficiency of the distribution company, the Gujarat has taken very proactive measures by creating our own police station. Why I am sharing this thing with you? Because as you know that the original jurisdiction which having a regular police station, because of they have a number of multifarious duties, so they never used to timely assist the electricity board or the distribution company. So by creating a separate police station, immediately wherever the theft-prone area or the headstrong people are there, even many of the people we moved under them under the PASA, that is Prevention of Antisocial Activity Act. Of our own we can register the complaint, like FIR, what we say in a popular jargon. And because of the intensive vigilance activity, and I must place on record also that barring some few incidents, it is everywhere because we are in a democratic setup, but by and large, I must say that there is a even strong political will also, that there is a very least interference on whenever any distribution company is carrying out the vigilance activity. This is my third tenure in the power sector. At present I am in the Dakshin Gujarat Ridge Company, and the DGVCL is catering power supply to the 7 districts of the South Gujarat. At present we have 25 lakh consumers, and we are rated as number 1 distribution company in the country. During the previous year and during the current year also, we are rated as number 1 by the credit rating agency ICRA, and it is already declared by the Ministry of Power that the 4 power distribution company of the Gujarat, they are rated as A+. Among that, the Dakshin Gujarat Wijh company is topping. When I joined as a DGVCL, I know that because I was knowing the sector well. Earlier I had worked in North Gujarat Wijh company, that is popularly known as UGVCL. The DGVCL is totally a different geographical area where people are saying that it's absolutely a potential in terms of industrial growth and commercial growth. But the 50% of the area is a tribal also. That is a big challenge. So we carried out on an intensive way the conversion of overhead lines to the aerial wind conductor. And that has helped us a lot in containing our distribution losses. And this year, I must say that we have reached to the level of 9.54. That is a single digit distribution losses. And many a time I share with the private utility, many of the people are maybe here also, many of them probably, that many times they refer the private utility compared to the public sector distribution company. So many a time I share with them that like even Torrent, when I was in UGVCL, when we got even the award from Prime Minister as the best performing utility, then I submitted when R.V. Shahi was the Secretary, Power. I told him that, sir, there are many of the areas, parameters where we can compare the PSU's unbundled utility and the private utility. Like many of you know that the Ahmedabad electricity, means that is Torrent, is a 100-year-old private utility. The Surat Electricity Company, which was earlier, now it is operated by Torrent, even 10-15 years back it is taken over by the Torrent. So the geographical area of any private distribution company, maybe a Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, you know, it has absolute urban mix. 85% is absolutely a good consumer class, except Delhi. I say that now it is improved a lot, because when Delhi was privatized it was 52% loss. So now the big challenge before the distribution utility is the basic idea of Electricity Act 2003 was to make the sector apolitical, distancing from politics. And I must say that the Gujarat success story on power sector front is absolutely because of the political will and the team, those who have worked in the power sector. Again, coming to the DGVCL, as you know that we had many traditional practice like our laying lines. Then to ensure the reliability and quality power, we took a number of measures, like within a span of 1.5 years even we laid a 1,000-kilometer underground cabling. We installed the ring main units. We created a number of substation on a ring main concept. We replaced the maximum the quality meters. We intensified our vigilance activity, and that is why now we are having a 100% collection efficiency, and our revenue has now, what it was in 2005, it was 5,200 crore. Now in 2012-13 we have reached to 8,900 crore. In Gujarat we have a bulk supply tariff concept, because the geographical area of the four distribution companies having a different kind of consumer mix. When I was comparing with private and the public sector, we are largely catering the rural area and the agriculture. And because of the size, many a time I say that when I was comparing Ahmedabad Torrent and my Uttar Gujarat Beach Company or a Dakshin Gujarat Beach Company with Surat, I always say that they have a jurisdiction in Ahmedabad, 120 square kilometer, whereas my jurisdiction in UGVCL, it was 56,000 square kilometer. In DGVCL, the Surat jurisdiction is 44 square kilometer, whereas I have a geographical jurisdiction of 23,000 square kilometer. So that the distance that matters, the long STLT lines. Then again the political environment, because as I mentioned to you that we are in a democratic setup, and when there is a public sector, then the approach of all the functionaries gets changed. And we have a certain legacies also. We have to follow it also as a social obligation. As I mentioned to you that by taking various measures, now we have reached to a level where we can say that on a distribution side, particularly in Gujarat, now the major challenge is to sustain. And one good part in Gujarat also that since last 6-7 years we are getting regular tariff order. And one good thing also in Gujarat that we have a formula of the IPE, that is called Fuel Power Purchase Adjustment. And whenever there is a fuel cost goes high, then it is automatic pass through by the regulator. Now the big challenge that what we are encountering now, that's the open access. The Indian Electricity Act provides for the open access. We are not against that also. That the very purpose of the power sector reforms was to bring a competition, to give a choice to a customer. But I always share with the high policy makers at Delhi or at the state government level that in case of a public sector unit, we are growing, we are improving. But as I mentioned to you that we have a bulk supply tariff concept, as I mentioned to you that we have because of socio-economic situation in various geographical location, we require a good consumer mix. Like DGVCL, we have a good consumer mix, but what we say that our revenue or whatever the effort what we are making and we are getting success, it is passed through to the other area of Gujarat, like Uttar Gujarat or the PGVCL, where they have a certain consumer mix where we have to compensate through our own mechanism, as I mentioned to you, like a BST, or we are allotting a PPA. Comparatively they are cheaper compared to the DGVCL. Our concept is allotting a PPA is also based on the capacity to pay. So as I mentioned to you that the country as a whole, if we see, then as experience sharing, we always talk that the success of power sectors in any state or in any area lies on the distribution. Because in distribution there are many challenges also, because we have a direct consumer face. Whereas transmission and generation comparatively they have level playing field, because they don't have a public face, and the revenue is generated from the distribution. And this is the area where even the state like Gujarat, we have got the maximum. Even I must say that the lot of system improvement work was carried out in 2003 when even the APDRP was launched by the Ministry of Power. Still even that APDRP is it is going on, and we are making lot of system improvement, and that has resulted into the reduction of losses. I think rather than delivering a lecture, I feel always happy when there is a much question answer, because I have an enriched experience on distribution side. Even I have experience on during the when the State Electricity Board was also there, so I am instrumental in transforming process of the power sector. And many a time I tell that the distribution is such an area that it's not a much technical side, but it is more or less a techno-commercial side. And I again use the local word that on distribution real dhoka is required, and then only this segment we can get the expected result, and ultimately it is beneficial to the consumer. Even I am sharing my experience of a DGVCL, that how we started interacting with the people in a very massive way, and how we got the support of the people. Because you know that even whatever the electricity bill you are getting, you might have even yesterday also I have seen that one bill I just as a sample case I saw it. It was a name of one Aditi developers, and the bill was paid by the individual occupant who was residing in that flat. So we started one innovative program at the DGVCL apne dware. We simplified the process of change of name, because earlier our people used to ask the registered document, then the municipal tax bill, and then again the NOC from the developer, then again set 7 bar utarda, then property card utar and whatnot. So we simplified it, that out of the 6 document only this either one document you should produce. Even we don't require even registered document, we don't require even the property card, or we don't require 712, either any of, even if you have registered document and you have an abstract of that registrar office, then also that will serve the purpose, because our purpose is to collect the energy bill from whom that is to be ensured. And by this simple, I tell you, this simple initiative, we got the support of a majority of consumer, including agriculture consumer. It was amazing. It was amazing. So by this single one initiative, even along with we carried out so many other programs also, like not only the change of name, but if there is a faulty meter, there is a discrepancy in the bill, then again in release of connection, so many things we covered under that. And that is how I must say that the 2 years back I used to daily get even the daily 15-20 calls from the consumer. Now hardly in a week I get any telephone call, because by this many a time I say that by closely interacting with the consumers, because ultimately in the distribution side, the customers are the very important stakeholders, and by this way, even agriculture consumers, there was a lot of hue and cry that you give additional power more than 8 hours. Even we explained to them that how this 8 hours power is sufficient, how there is what are the adverse impact of over extending the water like that. So this kind of, because of this multiple approach, I must say that the consumers, they don't want miracle. Even the tariff are increased. I am quite aware that if the reliable power is given, if quality is power given, even if the their grievances are addressed timely, I think the customers they are always supporting if the utility is totally transparent. So I think with this my experience, I must thank Inertia and more particularly Professor Iyer inviting me and to share my views with you. Thank you.
See, DGVCL since Patel Sahab has taken over has 2 years in continuation won the Inertia Awards. Of course this is the third award, and I am very sure with his 9.5 figures, we are just evaluating, it is the third award, sir. It is a guaranteed situation because no other utility is working hard like you. So we must thank people like him because they are the ones who are setting the benchmarks in the whole country. And I hope DGVCL can set Asian benchmarks. I'm looking at that, sir, because I know you're thinking. So definitely that can happen. It's not far off. So because adopting certain smart grid areas and certain technological initiatives from your side can definitely bring further microeconomic changes, in the distribution sector. So we must thank that he has got the time, because we would have loved to have him in the morning with everybody, but he had to, his own constraints, and he is here with us. He always has been supportive of what Inertia has done, and I think we also need some good officers like him to back us. So please, once again, thank you, sir. And now may I also request Praveen Kulkarni to join us on the dais, please. Praveen Kulkarni is a believer in smaller and decentralized and distributed power, so he is also going to be on the dais. And with this, I ask my colleague Hetal Mehta to take over from here so that he can conduct, and Patel Sahab is anyway chairing it. So after we finish, I think Patel Sahab and Prasad Sahab would take any questions that you want. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Friends, we have now with us Mr. U.C. Jain, Chief Engineer, Electrical and Mechanical, Sardar Sarovar Narmada Nigam Limited. He will be having his presentation here in front of all of us.
Good afternoon, respected dignitaries on the dais, my friends. I will not take much time, but I will make you to take you, actually I will take you and tour on our hydropower station, which is a very special power project on the Narmada basin. At one location, we are having the underground plant as well as on surface plant. This is the unique place where the two power plant of such types are having at one location. And this is the biggest hydropower plant on the Narmada basin. If you see up there in the picture, the complete a view of the plant we have taken, and because it is name of the Sardar Patel, so it is the picture of the Sardar Patel on the top of that. Now you can see Narmada started from the Amarkantak and going up to sea near to Bharuch. This power plant is just on the border of the Maharashtra and Gujarat. Most of the submergence area of this reservoir is in the MP, some portion in the Maharashtra, and then in the Gujarat. You can see of the location. Now, our project is divided in 3 portions. That is the one. This total power project actually is taken complete Sardar Sarovar project. Sardar Sarovar project is unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. This is 3 unit has been divided, and 1 unit has been considered the main dam, which is the total civil work of the main dam. Second, the complete canal network of the Sardar Sarovar, from the whatever the canal is going from the starting from the Rajasthan, the border of the Banaskantha, and in the portion of the some of the portion it is 70 kilometer, it is going into Rajasthan. And third unit is the hydropower project, which is the 1450 megawatt. Now you can see the share of the water and the power of this project. The Madhya Pradesh is having the lion's share in the water as well as in power, because in the total water in the terrain, Narmada basin is defined in the, this is the 28 million acre feet water is available, and out of that this is 18.25, that is the biggest lion's share. 65% share of the water is with the Madhya Pradesh. 9 million acre feet, that is only 32%. Half of this Madhya Pradesh water is available for the Gujarat, and 0.89, that is 0.25 million acre feet for the Maharashtra, and 0.5 million acre feet for the Rajasthan. But in the power is derived on the basis of the submergence area of the total for the reservoir, and in that case, because the maximum submergence area in the Madhya Pradesh, so 57% of the power goes to Madhya Pradesh, 27% to Maharashtra, and only 16% is available for the Gujarat. Now you can see a view of this aerial view of this. There is a one main dam, and above the main dam, that complete is a submergence area, and near to that there is a two power station, that one is underground, another is the surface. The surface power station is having the 5 unit of 50 megawatt, and the discharge of the water is going in the canal. Our canal, the biggest canal, the size of the canal of this Sadar Sarovar is having the capacity of 40,000 cusac. It can handle the 40,000 cusac, and discharge of the water from this power plant is 25,000 cusac. So the 15,000, there is an additional capacity available of 15,000 cusac water in the canal, and if it is required, we are having the bypass gate. We can open up that, and then water can be released in the canal if it is required. Another is the underground, 200 megawatt each unit, 6 unit of 200 megawatt has been placed there, and total 1200 megawatt has been placed for the underground powerhouse. Now you can see a view of the canal head powerhouse. This is the front view of the canal head powerhouse. This is a surface plant. You can see of that, this is on surface. Now this is the inside view of the plant. Now you can see all the lights and coming of this sunlight is coming on the surface of this. So this is a surface plant, and the discharge of this water is going in the canal. Now some of the features of the canal is, because this unit is supplied by the BHEL, and its efficiency at net head is 32.2. It is very good, 92.2. It is very good efficiency of the BHEL unit, which is supplied in the year of 91. That was a long back, and we have commissioned this unit first time in 2004. You can see the commissioning date of the each unit. That is the first unit in October 2004. This is the first time. After 13 years of gap of 13 years, we are able to commission this machine, because the required head of in the dam was not achieved due to so many issues of the water related issues, environment related issues. So ultimately on October 2004, we could commission the first unit. Now you can see this schematic plan. This is for canal head powerhouse. We have a 220 kV switchyard, open switchyard. Now here you can see this is the underground powerhouse. There is no sunlight. This is the below, from the top we are going to 70 meter down in the ground, and the powerhouse has been made. The length of the total tunnel, this portion is 200 meter. This is 200 meter. The length of the tunnel is 780 meter. you have to travel 780-meter tunnel and go down 70-meter down, then and then you can reach. And you can see of that how big the total establishment has been created. This is the floor which is you are seeing, it is on 20 meter, and we have been constructed from -4 to 52 meter. This is the details of the machine which has been, that time when this Sardar Sarovar project has been finalized, that time India do not have the capacity of manufacturing of 200 megawatt unit. So technology has come from the Japan, and Japan, the collaboration between Hitachi and Toshiba, they have supplied this 6 machine for our plant. Another thing is that along with that, the technology transfer is also made. For unit number 5 and 6, the generator has been manufactured here only by the BHEL with the technology transfer from this Toshiba Japan. Now, first unit, you can see the first unit is commissioned in the year 2005. Because we require the minimum head of 100 meter for the unit to run the unit. So this it was only possible commission on the 2005, and last unit commission on the June 2006. If you see of that, in 1 year we have commissioned 4 units at a time, 800 megawatt. In the financial year of 2005 and 6, we have put the 800 megawatt on the system with the hydrogenation. This is the biggest achievement for the Sardar Sarovar. And for that, Inertia has acknowledged that, and he has given the award for that because we have achieved that milestone. This is a Francis turbine which has been installed. This is the details. This you can see the runner. This is 7.15 meter dia. Dia of 7.15 meter, that runner. This is a spare runner which is lying there, and you can see of that what the size of the machine. Now, the first time in the India, the gas insulated switchyard was installed. It has been ordered in 1996, and in 2000 it has been commissioned. Because we do not have the sufficient space for the switchyard. Whatever the switchyard we have been put on that is only on the 250 meter. If we have to go required, this switchyard has to be installed on the ground level, on the traditional, you can say, nominal switchyard on the which we are installing. So we require 1.5 kilometer length of the area. But here only in the 250 meter, it has been completely accommodated. The Sardar Sarovar has paid a very heavy price for that. But because we don't have the space for there. So this first time this technology has come. Now this technology has become very popular, and the cities area, even though 66 kV, the GIS system has been adopted, because in city area this land is very costly. So people are going for this GIS technology. You can see of that complete this. How near all the buses, everything is, how near it is. Very near to that. Because this project is a 3-state project, and the share of the power of the 3 states, that is 57% of Madhya Pradesh, 27% of Maharashtra, and 16% of the Gujarat. So we have to give the power to all 3 states. So separate line for the Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh was laid, and 2 lines for the Maharashtra and 2 lines of 400 kV has led up to border of the Madhya Pradesh. And Gujarat, the portion of the Gujarat is taking from the switchyard itself. They are taking the power from the switchyard itself, because we are giving the power only on the switchyard, and the Gujarat is taking the power from there. Now, you can see the progress. Average, if you see an average, maximum 28-30% PLF is there. But this year there is a heavy rain in the total command and the catchment area of the Narmada and this thing, and we have the 58 days overflow of the Narmada. So till the January, the PLF was 48.28. This is the maximum record, and for a hydropower station, this is the very good PLF for a hydro plant. You can see of that 51.9 on the riverbed of our house, and we have generated about 5,000 million unit from this plant, and that is costing, if you cost of that, this is 1,000 crore there. There's number of authority has been created by the government of India to implement this project, to protect the interest of all the state, because there is a 4 state involved: Maharashtra, Gujarat, MP and Rajasthan. So one authority has been made, Narmada Control Authority. He has to control the complete Narmada basin from Amarkant into this place, and he has to see of that the interest of all the beneficiary state has to be protected. Even though, because the Rajasthan, whatever the Rajasthan water is getting, it is only this responsibility of the states, and that's why the water has been allocated to them. This is dot prone area, Rajasthan is dot prone area. So the water has gone on that area, and you just think of that, the Sanchor area, which is the very dot prone area. Now they are taking the 3 crops in a year. The total Sanchor, the face of the Sanchor district has totally changed, where this Narmada water has been reached. Sir Prasad sir was saying we have to think about the pump storage. Yes, this was envisaged in the project, and this project has been designed on the pump storage basis also. And we are going to we are constructing the Galdeshwar Weir, and in next 3 years this plant will start working as a pump storage also. There is further, we are going ahead in the small hydro also. Sardar Sarovar is having nearly 75,000 kilometer network of the canals, and the main canal is a 458 kilometer, but there is a branch canal which is having the 100 kilometer, 200 kilometer and 300 kilometer also. So where the natural falls we are getting, we are going for the putting the small hydro projects. The process is already on. We are already ahead to finalize the order, and this on the initial stage we are going to generate the 85.46 megawatt from these falls. That is a small hydro projects, but it is unfortunate. Recently we have float the tender, but the the bidders are very less in this bid. So we are still trying to resolve these issues, how to go ahead. Now you can see the fall. This is a 10-meter fall. The water is 10-meter fall. We are putting this obstacles, and so our canal should not be damaged. If the water will be diverted through the small hydro plant, then this can be avoided, and the water will go. The energy, the fall energy will be consumed, converted into electric energy, and the water will go in the natural way on the canal itself. This has been dedicated. The Sardar Sarovar main plant has been dedicated in 2007 in presence of Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, MP, and Honorable Minister of Rajasthan and senior officers of Maharashtra. Now, Sardar Sarovar has taken another step. The vision of our Honorable Chief Minister was to develop the solar plant and to utilize the canals for installation of the solar panels. On the example basis, we have installed 1 megawatt on the Sanand branch canal. You can see the picture. This is the canal top, and you can see of that the total panel size 16 by 4 meter, 60 meter. The width of the canal here is, the top width is getting of 16 meter. And we are having nearly 2,000 kilometer canal where the width of the canal between 18 meter to 28 meter. So with this initiation, we got the very good results of this plant. So another 10 megawatt is initiated on the Baroda branch canal where you are sitting. Just back of that there is a canal flowing that is called the Baroda branch canal. It is the branch canal from the main Narmada main canal, and in the vicinity of the Baroda city, on the 4.5 kilometer distance, we are putting the 10 megawatt, and this power which will be utilized for our pumping station which is installed at Surendra pumping station. There is lot of advantage, saving of the water due to evaporation. Coal, if we require to generate this much power, this coal, whatever the coal will be consumed, whatever the CO2 emission has been, this all data has been. Now, after our experiment of 1 megawatt, Uttar Pradesh has also planned to set up the canal top plant. Damodar Valley Corporation has already ordered 50 megawatt on their canal top. They have already ordered in the month of January. They have already ordered. Okay, thank you.
I must also acknowledge today that this forum has been supported by none other than the Government of India Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and also the Government of Gujarat Energy and Petrochemicals Department. So without them, we would not have been here in Gujarat. So we had the same partners last year in Surat. So we have continued with our partners. Please give them a big hand also.
Friends, we had a very nice audio-visual tour to Narmada, the Sardar Sarovar. And now we have our another panelist, our very good friend Rajiv Kumar Srivastava. He is the former Executive Director, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited and presently Director, Ujas Energy Limited. Rajiv ji, time is yours, please.
Thank you very much. After such exciting presentations that you've seen from the DISCOM of Gujarat and the Sardar Sarovar project, I don't think I have any presentation. Even if I had, I wouldn't have shown it. It's not possible to come to Baroda without complimenting the progress that this state is doing, especially the city of Baroda. Gujarat is a model that most of us need to look at and emulate in the nation. I had just last week I was looking at some of the parameters of Gujarat. I think it's the first department to have ever created a Department of Climate Change, the first state to have created a Department of Climate Change. In Gujarat itself, solar contributes 3% of the energy basket and wind contributes 6% of the energy basket, and I think your target is 15%. Now 15% is an extremely good target, considering that many of the international organizations, cities like London, cities like New York, the European Union has a target of 15 to 20% in their energy basket from renewables by 2020. And if this is the target of Gujarat, I think it's extremely commendable and something to congratulate them for. you have already installed 850 megawatt of, more than 850 I think now, of solar capacity, and which is roughly half of what the whole nation, so what Gujarat has done, everyone else has done, taken together the same. I think JETCO is implementing a smart grid solution. The Uttar Gujarat, which was selected by the central government for another smart grid, or the country's first modernized electrical grid system. One problem that ails the solar sector in this country is the non-compliance with the RPOs. And I must say that Gujarat is perhaps one of the few states that has complied with 80% of the non-solar RPOs and exceeded the solar renewable portfolio obligations. I was witness to a presentation by the Indian Chamber of Commerce, and they had evaluated, like the professor also does, comparison of the various utilities. And needless to say that the composite reform progress index of Gujarat was the highest. They had a score of 1.37. Maharashtra had 1.27 and Rajasthan had 0.57. The difference in the average cost of supply and the average revenue realization of power, which is actually the indicator of the health of the distribution sector and the power sector in general, is I think zero in Gujarat, if I'm not wrong. The total AT&C losses, as I was just discussing, told me 17%, and in his region, the Dakshin Gujarat, I think it's 11%. Collection efficiency is nearly 100%. Profitable organization. The peak deficit is almost not there. Village electrification is 99.8% in Gujarat, and as I said, the losses are one of the lowest. Now, why did I cite all these factors? One is that I'm coming to Baroda after a long time, and I therefore, out of curiosity, was looking at what Gujarat is doing. The other reason I looked at Gujarat so closely is that today we are at that threshold where the country is poised or can take a giant leap forward as a world economic power and fulfill the aspirational needs of a very young population. And therefore, and many of our experts have dwelt on this since morning, that the driver of most of infrastructural, industrial, and progress of the nation is going to be the power sector. And that is the reason that I highlighted the emphasis on power, and particularly on sustainable power, because this is what the aspirational youth of this country is going to be asking for. The story of Gujarat is perhaps not the story in the rest of the country. We have a slowing economy, a very high fiscal deficit. Most of the time, the current account deficit has been very high, inflation runs high, and on top of it, the economic growth of the country has slowed down to 4.5% or so. We deal under a peak deficit of power, we deal under an energy deficit, both of them are in double digits. Our gas plants are starved of gas, something that was highlighted in the morning, which brings down the PLF from, I guess, 90% to 60% because of the shortage of gas. Renewables continue to face problem in most other places in terms of land acquisition, in terms of clearances, in terms of power evacuation. And I think because I work with financial institutions often, and financial institutions, before they fund a project, look at the risk associated with the project. And there are two out of a whole inventory of about 15-20 risks. The two major risks that they always look at is the upstream risk of fuel supply and the downstream risk of offtake of the product, which is in this case power. And this is where discoms like the one represented here and the other discoms of Gujarat as well, they need to form a sort of a model to be emulated in the rest of the country. Because with high financial losses, with high AT&C losses, with political compulsions of subsidy, as lately you've seen in some state, including the place I live in, Delhi, and the cumulative debt of discoms, which I think in the morning we discussed about 4 lakh crore. It's very difficult for financial institutions to fund a power project or a renewable project if the off-taker himself is at some stage going to cry off and land the project into a big financial distress. So therefore, my submission is that in the next 15 to 20 years, if India needs to reap the demographic dividend, if we need to grow at 9 to 10 and emerge as one of the 3 largest economies in the company of USA and China, then we need to get our infrastructure act right, and particularly the act of renewable energy and solar. Just to give you a little perspective, because solar is very dear to my heart. Solar continues to grow all over the world, particularly in the European Union. I don't have the figure for 2013, but in 2012, 31,000 megawatt of solar energy was added across the world. And the leading countries were, as usual, Germany, Italy, United States, China, and Japan. India, with all its foray of having done about 2 gigawatt in the last 3 or 4 years, half of which has come from Gujarat again, is almost nowhere in the reckoning. And that is where I would like to bring the focus, and inertia can take the lead. And I think you have already taken the lead. Professor has been highlighting this, that 20 gigawatt is a very insignificant target. We need to go to 40, 60 or perhaps 100 gigawatt, which is the potential. 20 I think Gujarat itself will do. So friends, I would like to conclude my talk, because a lot of things I have been saying and I can say, which I had here, have already been said by the experts and you've already heard them. But I would like inertia and this forum to place across to the policy makers of this country that the country has the next 20 or 25 years when the demographic advantage is going to accrue to this nation and an aspirational youth is joining the mainstream. And if we do a lot of things we have discussed since morning, things which have been highlighted by the Gujarat and get out of the syndrome of freebies, free power, discoms being in perpetual ill health. That will be perhaps the only way, in my humble submission, that we would be able to meet this aspirational need. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiva. Thanks for sharing your experience, what you have in your career. Friends, we have a very eminent personality of this city, Baroda, Dr. B.G. Desai with us. He is a renowned energy consultant, and his whole career he has proven in the energy economist. He is here. He will share his experience with us. Few more.
Good evening, everybody. I must thank Professor Iyer and Mr. Mehta for inviting over here. During the whole morning, we have seen what is happening in the generation and transmission sector. I work in the area of energy efficiency, how that power is utilized, and I will be brief since already it is 5:15. I will just briefly talk about what is happening in the field of energy efficiency. If you look at the power utilization in this country, in last 25 years, lot of change have come also in the utilization sector. Number one, previously industry used to consume 60 to 70% of power. Now that percentage has dropped to about 40 to 45. Residential sector, which used to have only 10 to 15%, now residential sector is consuming about 25% of the electricity. Agriculture is consuming another 20 to 25%, and rest 10% is going for miscellaneous uses. Now if you look at industry, agriculture, residential, if you look in terms of equipment use, you will find that lighting is accounting for about 15% of the total use. Electric motors account for about 75% and 10% for heating and chemical. So if you look from the energy efficiency viewpoint, motors and lighting are the two areas where efficiency improvements have to take place. If you look at lighting, lot of technology developments are taking place, sodium vapor lamps, CFL, and now we are talking of LED. If you look at technology today, LED virtually efficiencies are similar to CFL, but the long-lasting life is there. We are promising 50,000 hours, 1 lakh hour. At the moment, costs are high, but I think I expect LED prices also will fall. Just to give you an example, today 5-watt Philips bulb, if you purchase LED, it is costing 500 rupees. But we hope that over a period of time, this cost will fall down. Another major advantage of LED and between CFL is CFL and all vapor discharge lamps, little bit of mercury is there. LED is free from mercury. So these are the issues, but as far as I see it, at the moment we have to use CFL, LED continues to use it. And just for your information how regulatory things work, in many countries, right from beginning of 2011, purchase and manufacture of incandescent bulbs have stopped. So I know compulsion and all that is a very difficult thing to work in this country, but somewhere I think we'll have to take initiative in this also. So as far as lighting is concerned, I think CFL, LED and smart technologies, what we talk of a smart grid, you can control, that is also a very important part. Now rest 75% use of electricity is taking in terms of electric motors. And electric motors, there are two major technologies. One is high efficiency motors and second is variable speed drive. Now once you look at high efficiency motors, lot of developments have taken place, and now our standards at the moment are matching international standard. And what is known as latest Indian standard for motors IS 12615 is more or less in line with international and both American standards. Now only point is what is the status on the ground. High efficiency motors are available. If you look at the BIS, it says that from January 2014, IE3 motors only should be used. Now Professor Iyer, lot of manufacturers are also here, and I asked them, not even 2% of their motor market is IE3. 98% are still using IE1, 2, 3 or even less than that. So this is where I am not very sure about compulsion and regulation and all that, but I think somewhere some action is to be taken. If you look at US market, right since 1997, high efficiency motor is a mandatory provision, both for using as well as for import. So here, whether it will work or not, but I think we have to go ahead and bring in some regulation that at least what is provided with the Act has to take up. Now another part of this regulation is the standard and labeling. Now standard and labeling also, I have seen recently that BE has strengthened its standard and labeling program. Even for induction motors, BE's 3-star level is what IE3, and BE is providing 5-star level which is even above IE3. Now how this standard and labeling is going to work, I do not know. But again my feeling is that Professor Iyer may not agree, but I personally feel that somewhere some mandatory things have to be brought into account. Because just take a simple thing like a ceiling fan. Now ceiling fan, last 10 years BIS is there, BE label is there. 5-star ceiling fan consumes 50 watt. 20 million ceiling fans are made in this country. Still not even 5% are made as 5. Most of the ceiling fans continue to consume 75 to 80. I think if we pursue even few labels like ceiling fans, high efficiency motors, refrigerators, AC and all that, I think we may not need so much large generation capacity. We are talking of whatever 500,000 megawatt this and other. My humble view is, and then looking at the cost also. Cost of generation we are talking of 5 crores, 6 crores, 7 crores. Nuclear we are now talking of 12 crores. If you look at energy conservation projects, if you replace all the bulb free of charge, there is a big program by BE, Bachat Lamp Yojana, but I think unfortunately it has not made much of a progress. But I think if we go for many such innovative financing scheme, because we have to look at the economics also. Instead of going for a large investment in power generation, if we make similar investments in energy efficiency, I think we may not. So this is a major thing I am seeing, that our planning has to change that. From a purely supply side oriented, we have to move to a demand side management. Demand side management give number of advantages. Number one, cost. Second thing is time. When now nuclear we are talking so many years, power we are, any power station clearances setting up we are talking 5 to 10 years. When you look at energy efficiency projects, we can implement in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And the technologies are well defined. There is no question of trying out anything or anything. All these technologies for energy efficiencies are well defined, well known. Only we have to implement it. Issue is when we are looking at this investment of 50,000 megawatt, 100,000 megawatt, it is state which is funding it through a taxpayer's money. When we are looking at energy efficiency, it is the users who have to pay. But finally it is the total money is from the exchequer only, from the public funds only. So I think main thing I would like to suggest to this forum is we move from a supply side management to a demand side energy efficient management. It is in terms of a time, in terms of a cost, in terms of environmental pollution. Everywhere we have to be very quick. Renewable, we have to move from non-renewable to, there is no doubt about it. But renewable energies are quite expensive, number one. Second thing, we must accept that unless there is a strong development in storage technology, without energy storage, renewable energies are always going to face problems. We must have a very strong development in energy storage technology, and pump hydro is one of the things which is mentioned, but pump hydro also has issues in terms of location, cost and everything. So storage technology is one area where we will have to work. I think energy efficiency, demand side management technologies are well known. As I said, lighting technologies, high efficiency motor, variable speed drive, all these things are very known. So I think I suggest to this forum that we have to go to renewable, we have to go to new technologies, but energy efficiency and demand side management also require high priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. B.G. Desai, for sharing your view. Yeah, please come, Professor.
Desai sir, I have a point. Although I agree, ineffective because I have been fighting. And the National Action Plan for Climate Change, one of the missions is National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. I don't know whether you noticed when I showed that paper to the Prime Minister, one of the 5th points was exactly this, that they have put it in Dabba. Okay. Second, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency in India, don't feel bad, is the fraudulent organization of the country. It must be dismantled. It must be dismantled. I will explain to you why. See, then I am telling you, sir, the 5-star, 4-star rating is the biggest fraud in the country. Take a measure. I have done it myself. One institution should start measuring after 5 months the energy efficiency of these. I am the consumer. In my home, my electricity bills are increasing when I am buying these, not decreasing. And this is a physical reality I am talking. I wrote a letter to Mr. Scindia, and you know what? They reduced the 20% price in Bombay for MSEDCL. You know what is the reason? They have cut off the suburban grids. They have forced the houses to buy inverters. Inverters generate harmonics, and those harmonics create even more trouble. But when you come to my home and tell me remove this, I am going to go to the court and take the pants off of the utility. My own friend VP Raja was at the back foot when I talked to him on this. Because you are only allowing these inverters to come more and more. You will give 5-star rating to my inverter, fine. Whether it is manufactured by Sucam or anybody, your ex-company. But this is the fraud that we are, I tell you sir, it's a fraud. CFL, any CFL I am buying, I am telling you what I have faced as a consumer. No Philips CFL, they don't replace. It goes off in 2 months, conks off in my home. And I tell you, it is all the polluting gases inside that cannot be disposed. Why should we promote CFL at all in this country? It was the biggest fraud executed on the country. Why did not you go to LED first? It is like that Microsoft, Windows 93, already 95, 98 is developed, but I will skim the milk for 3 years in a monopoly. Then suddenly Microsoft is rich and you and me are poor. This was my point, sir, with due respect, sir. Yeah, then 8 point or 8. I am with you sir, I am with you in toto, but I am completely against these bodies that have been set up in the country. I will give you one more example. Our own friend in Gujarat, there is a RR cable, you know, these guys were so committed, they made the first halogen-free fire retardant cable in this country. And Mr. Kabra met me. I told him we will fight the BIS. He was scared because BIS still puts in the tender PVC armored cable, am I right? And the price of this especially fire retardant cable is very high, and everybody must know why. उपहार सिनेमा में आग लगी थी कई साल पहले अंसल्स के. उस आग में जो लोग मरे थे, आग से नहीं मरे थे. They died of asphyxiation because of the smoke generated in PVC cable. Today also every builder, every fellow uses PVC cable. How many of the consumers know this? And this is not promoted. BIS is not interested in this. Sir, sir, I told you, if BIS is not interested in putting in the tender halogen-free fire retardant cable and give a premium to it, to save the lives of people in this country, do you think that with this kind of a logic we will go and buy these things, sir? But but not Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It must not be in the hand of the government.
Sir, definitely we need that energy efficiency and bodies are there. What? No, sir, that working may be required, may not be there, but again one more issue I want to add as a motor manufacturer. Right? You are telling that energy efficient motor is required in this country. We are telling that it is required. The standard is laid down. I3, I4, I5 level is already written as 12615 2011, right? But where is the material availability for making that motor? Can you explain? Who makes that material in India? Again, we are dependent on import. India, see, suppose you are going to import the material and make it in India. That's why the first policy is to be make that, if we want to go for I3, I4, I5, then the material should be manufactured in this country. The Steel Authority of India Limited has to decide, government has to push them, you must make CRNG M45 to M35 to M15 to M5 grade. That's what needed.
The only point I like to make, in place of importing oil and gas and everything, it is far better to import copper and make higher efficiency.
That is possible. That is not the problem. Thank you very much, but Dr. Desai, your point is very well taken. Efficiency is required in this country because if we are able to provide the efficient utilities, we are able to save almost more than 20% energy. That is the fact. And we appreciate that. So let us further go ahead with the discussion. We have Mr. Girish Rane, Manager Business Development, Indian Energy Exchange with us. He will be explaining us how the power trading and all the details.
Yeah, good evening everybody. Myself Girish Rane. I thanks the organizer to give us the opportunity to explain about our exchange. In this presentation, we will be looking about the introduction to Indian power market, product portfolio, what are the different products available on the exchange, trading mechanism, market snapshots, and trading at IEX. These are silent features of the Indian power market. You can see that the installed capacity is 229 gigawatt. Shortage is still there of the 14,856 megawatt. These are different type of markets going on, like multi-buyer seller option is there, OTC market is there, spot trading on exchange. Means if you require power in the short term, in a day ahead, you can come on the exchange and take your power, or you can sell your power on the exchange also. Long term, if you want to have power for 25 years, you should go into long term. Medium terms is 3 months to 3 years. Short term means intraday, today and up to the 3 months. It comes under short term market. Power purchase agreement is around 89% going today, and you can see that whatever the power traded on the exchange is 3% of the total power capacity available in India. Only 3% is traded. We have to increase this capacity. Delivery products like day-ahead market is there. It is closed double-side auction. Term-ahead market. Day-ahead market means whatever is your requirement for tomorrow, one day in advance, that comes into day-ahead market. In term-ahead market, you can come on the exchange and take power for your 7 days. You don't have to come daily on the exchange. There is weekly product, daily product, intraday product also. Today evening I need some power, I can come on the exchange also. Then renewable energy certificates, like some of the entities, like obligated entities are DISCOMs, captive consumers, open access consumers. They have to fulfill their RPO obligations, either by way of purchasing RE power or way of purchasing REC certificate. This is one of the product on the exchange. Company snapshot, 95% market share is going on. More than 80,000 megawatt average daily trade is going on. More than 3,000 participants are trading on the exchange, out of which 2,100 plus other industries who is buying power from the exchange. It's a totally national-wide voluntary access. It is not a compulsion. If you want, you can come on the exchange. It's a delivery-based contract. If your product is selected, you have to take the delivery of the product. It's e-trading. Going on the internet, robust platform and no counter risk party in this involved. Growth in volume from 8.9 to 12.13, you can see we have growth up very much, that is about 56% we have growth. Product portfolio, this is the thing, day-ahead market, trade for the following day, contracts for every 15 minutes is there. TerraWatt market is there. In that intraday, day-ahead contingency, daily, weekly, and REC, which are already covered. These are the contract characteristics of day-ahead market. Is delivery is the next day. It is a closed auction. No one knows who are the other buyers or sellers and what are their quantum of prices. This is available 365 days. Intraday contracts are the continuous and hourly. Means for every hour you can come and trade. Day-ahead continuous is also hourly. Daily contracts is block of hours. There are different timelines for all these products. Means the market is open daily, but the times are different for this everything. This is a timeline from 10 to 12. Day-ahead market is open. In that, if you don't get the power, then you have the option after 12 to bid into a TerraWatt market. Trading mechanism. Close auction sided MMS auction for each 15-minute time block for following day. The intersection between the aggregate sale and purchase curves define the market clearing price and the market clearing volumes. 12 different bid, all India is divided into 12 different bidded areas. Congestion management is taken place. Minimum bid is rupees 1 for 0.1 megawatt hour and minimum price for volume stage is 0.1 paisa. This is a bidded value. In DAM, what happens? This is trading times from 10 to 12. All bids are collected from sell bids and the buy bids are also collected. After 12, once the market gets closed, no one can modify the bids. It is closed. After that, 12 to 1, we do the matching of the bids and we send to NLDC for the checking of whether the corridor is available or not. Whether power is flown to Maharashtra or to Gujarat, that corridor should be available. So we check with the NLDCs. After getting confirmation of NLDC, by 3 we come out the final result and by 5:30 we give the confirmations to the bidders whether the power is selected or not. This is a bid type. This is a screenshot of the DAM bid in which for every 15 minutes you can bid and you can vary your quantum also and the price also. This is DAM single bid. If you require power for any 1 hour or 2 hours, you can come into a DAM single bid. This is a DAM block bid. Means if I require power for 24 hours, I don't have to bid different 24-hour bids. I can bid a single bid for 24 hours. Open auction and the continuous trading. In closed auction, you don't know who are the buyers, sellers, what are the prices. In continuous trading, you can see what is the quantum available and at what price it is available. But you don't know who are the sellers or the buyers for that. If you are interested into it at power, you can click on that bid and your bid gets selected. There is different risk management in which we take the risk of giving money to the sellers because before bidding we take the money from the buyers, so that we cover all the risks of the sellers. Timelines I have already covered. These are the CRC market MMC report of 12-13. What is the share? What are the rates coming on? Actual cleared volume. Treatment of losses, like every buyer and sellers to observe losses. If there is a buyer, he has to bid on the regional periphery. Now we are in Gujarat. If we require power, we will be bidding on the western regional periphery. From there to our meter, we have to bear all the losses. Similar case, seller sells his power at the regional periphery. He has to inject more power to clear that bids. This is one of the example. So the buyer, if buyer says that I'm bidding for 100 megawatt, actual I will be getting 93.72 at my meter because all the losses he has to bear. Considering that, he will be getting the power. Similar case for the seller, if he wants to sell the 100 megawatt at the regional periphery, actually he has to inject 106.69 megawatt at his meter. So all the losses he has to bear. Market snapshot, market share for electricity is around 97%, REC we have 77%. State utilities are more than 27 states are there, generators 219 generators are there, industrial consumer like more than 2,000 are participating on the exchange. This is increasing participation in December 2009. Initially you can see what was the participation and right now more than 2,000 are participating. We are increasing day by day. This is different where no open access are permitted right now. Some of the states are still reluctant to give the open access. That was the figure wise. This is the actual north region wise bifurcation, which has allowed or not allowed. Industrial segment means the 2,000 customers which are there, industries. This is the bifurcation of that. Textile, who requires the more power, textile and metal, they are participating majorly to buy the power. Since they are the continuous industries, they require the more power. This is again the CRC reports what was the average price for that whole year, short-term transaction. If trading licenses were the power transacted was 4.33 per unit, IEX was 3.63 and another exchange it was 3.56. Volume is very less. Monthly average price for the MCP in the DAM market. This same monthly prices from April to March for the last financial year. Quarterly prices for this year. This is a monthly volume trade clear from December 2000 to January 14. How much was 541 million units for right now 2346 million units are being traded. This is a TAM performance means weekly market. Day at a continuously total volume traded in DAM is 3,375 MUs. DAM monthly, this is the rate which has been for the month of January. Trade at IEX who can come on the exchange to trade like the interstate generating stations, distribution licensee, state generating stations, IPPs, CPPs, open access customers who has to take the consent from the SLDC, electricity traders and brokers are there. Different type of memberships are there, proprietary member and professional members and electricity trader, 3 types of category are there. Even the industrial customer having requirement less than 1 megawatt can become a client of existing member and start trading. This is the fees. So looking at the fees, you can become the client by paying the 1 lakh rupees annual fee. So you become a member by paying 22 lakhs rupees or 65 lakhs for the professional membership, or become a client. But the technical requirement for all these things is you need a clearance, you need an ABT meter, and there should be a sufficient transmission capacity to flow the power. You can start bidding by lease line also, or you can bid by internet immediately. This is best perform exchange. We have received NSU Awards 2013. Best performing power exchange by Powerline Awards, and best enabled consumer platform by Indian Power Awards. We are in daily communication with all the customers by SMS, or you can visit our website also to get all the information of prices. We send the monthly bulletins to us. Pardon, sir? Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir.
For a very well-defined analysis. Friends, let me make this forum open for question answer now. Let us make little interactive. We have the experts here. Yeah, please, Mike there.
I am working in State Load Dispatch Center in Gujarat. So, in a day and night time, there are 2,000 megawatt gap. In daytime, we have to serve maximum and minimum demand. Maximum demand comes in daytimes and minimum demands during night hours. So the difference is around 2,000 megawatt. So particularly promoting solar in a city areas will help lot of, क्योंकि सिटी में जो लोड होते हैं वो डे टाइम में ही ज़्यादा होते हैं, और सिटी में सोलार को प्रमोट करने से ट्रांसमिशन का जो कॉस्ट है वो भी कम हो सकता है, क्योंकि अभी इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मगर डिमांड शहरीकरण की वजह से सिटी का जो डिमांड ग्रो हो रहा है उस हिसाब से ट्रांसमिशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डालना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा. सो अभी से इस बारे में सोचना चाहिए कि इन पर्टिकुलर सिटी एरियाज देयर शुड बी प्रमोशन ऑफ सोलर. वी शुड by promoting rooftop in buildings.
It's a need of the hour. The question I had posed Mr. Pandyan and company 1.5 years ago when they released the Gandhinagar thing, 11 rupees, 9 rupees and all that. Why the hell people of Gujarat have to pay 15 rupees and 11 rupees? Allow income tax holiday for them, 2 years, 3 years, don't pay income tax, show it in your income tax return that you are not paid. The moment it becomes 2 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt equivalent money with you, invest. It's a free money, interest-free debt to you, pay in 15 years, do the net metering so that DISCOMs need not bleed. When it is net meter, it's hardly APPC cost to DISCOM. DISCOM can easily buy your power, and if you are producing 3 units per day or 6 units per day, that much of energy bill you don't need to pay. So your house is secure. Tomorrow if some Ambani Adani comes and says they pay 25 rupees, you are safe today itself because you are adjusting your units generated. Only excess, if you have large rooftop like in any other industries, you can generate excess energy and sell again at APPC cost. So DISCOM's health will improve, your pocket health will also improve. And why only city? In villages also, namesake there are grids, but 18 hours, no power in most of the states. So rooftop power generation is must, both on the houses, commercial centers, and also on the the industrial rooftops. It's must. That's true. Policy is coming, even in Karnataka also it is coming. But what I am deadly against is, who are the finally beneficiary? Electricity Act of 2003, what it says? Lowest affordable cost to the consumer. Is Gujarat doing that? No. We are increasing rather. So there are various business models wherein with this kind of approach, what you need is money, right, to put up the plant. You take the money, you are paying the tax, right? You should be given income tax holiday, no tax rebate, income tax holiday is given, 2 to 3 years you retain, so you own the plant and you pay in 15 years, so there is no tax loss to the government. Now what is happening is, in the name of accelerated depreciation, the third party owners, they are not paying the tax because they are claiming the accelerated depreciation, but they are selling the energy at 9 rupees. Is this good to India? So why we should allow people like Edison, Azure, because they claim the accelerated depreciation. And again, you are made to, DISCOMs are made to buy at 9 rupees.
Just a minute, I want to stop here because see, this is not perfectly okay what you're saying. Although your position on this is correct, but you're completely on a fallacy when you talk about income tax rebate being given by the Gujarat government. First of all, you should know income tax rebates will come through a policy. Wait, don't, let's finish. Now I allowed you to talk.
Central government.
I allowed you to talk, now you have to allow because this is a moderator here. So I am talking to you, so please keep quiet when don't mislead people. See, first of all, the Income Tax Act is under the central government. So in any practical situation, what Mr. Kulkarni says cannot be achieved because he is not the controller of income tax. The Gujarat government has to work on its own. So by just running down Charaka and all, you're not going to benefit anything. Gujarat has only one model to show that solar can be done. They took the lead and your entire country at 5 crores per megawatt came because of that. I was at IIT Gandhinagar and CNN conducted that program. I was the lone man who was talking about 5 rupees per megawatt. Everybody was against me, including the electro-thumbs of the world. And at that time, I was flabbergasted. Everybody was, and only one man, Mr. Sahu, your former principal secretary, he said, everybody is wrong here. What professor is saying is right. And that has to come through a process. So what Charaka did is, it gave you a museum of different power plants, and they have all the results now. The second thing is, they brought the cost down. They didn't think what was happening. They only thought of one thing. When we scale and show one model, and now Gujarat's rooftop policy is the way ahead policy. Watch that. Keep watching. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that blunder. In fact, I tell you, I'm sitting in Maharashtra, a state which generates 25 gigawatt, right? What are they doing? They're sending Mumbai, it becomes Mumbai now, already, because of this kind of policy. So don't blame the state government. Today I tell you 20 gigawatt of gas-based power plant not operating is because of the central government policy. What are they doing? They're making fertilizer. Do you think it is the right way to do it? The energy efficiency of this should go to decentralized distributed power where you do tri-generation. And I tell you, entrepreneurs in Gujarat have put those engines, and I was responsible for some of them. Garden Bareli uses Rolls-Royce machines to do it, and it is in Gujarat in the textile industry. Right at Surat, there are people who have used MTU machines and they have succeeded. And I will tell you, when you talk about Gujarat, go to the Surat Municipal Corporation, you must see their waste paste generation. So when you suddenly you guys get up and start talking, it is out of the blue and out of the head. Be practical. Your point is right. But when you go and talk like this, I tell you, nobody will accept it. Especially a media man like me will not accept it.
Can I speak now?
Yes, now you can.
Can I just add one line before you?
Sure.
And that is to specifically address your question about any city. Let's take any city.
Can I now?
But Calcutta is, by the way, doing that. In Calcutta, if you install a rooftop, you can export power into the grid. Even if you go away on a 15-day holiday, you keep on exporting. At the end of the month, you have built the difference between how much you buy and how much you sell into the grid. The only question, the only challenge is a bit technical, and that is in synchronizing with the grid. Yeah, that's where the question that since morning Mr. Prasad has been mentioning, you need to have a stable, a healthy grid, in which case this doesn't become a problem. But if you have a very unstable and with frequency going here and there, and you have another frequency generated by your solar, then there can be a problem. So with grid stability, this is very doable, very desirable, and must be done.
More questions from the audience? Yes, please there.
Good evening, sir. We are student of civil engineering, third year, from MS University. On behalf of us, I want to ask one question. In our country, why in our country there are less promotion on nuclear energy? We can see in developing country, they are using and producing nuclear energy, but in our country, we can see that there are less promotion of that nuclear energy. Obviously, we have not such uranium amount, but we have thorium amount. So we can use also thorium amount also and thorium nuclear. My question is that what is the reason we haven't any proper technology or bad governance? Thank you.
Okay, I think you raised a wonderful question because there was no nuclear thing. I tried to call the Kakrapar guys, but they did not cooperate. I'm sorry to say that, so I am very blunt on this issue, because whatever is there, sir, response ही नहीं है nuclear वालों का. I'll tell you the background. I'm a big fan of nuclear energy. Okay, I'll tell you there is nothing wrong with India, but what happened is the history. When we started with the nuclear, India, Homi Baba, the great Homi J. Baba, never agreed with the Americans. He said, we will not build in the process open cycle nuclear reactors. He went for closed cycle nuclear reactors. And history will tell you that nuclear stockpiles in the world are responsible, have come because it's these Western nations, including the US, which went to open cycle reactors, and they are now, America and these are negotiating how they will reduce those stockpiles. Now what India did is, India went to the stage 1, the heavy water reactor, and from there we went to the secondary stage fuel in the second reactor, and now we are going to the almost third stage, the fast breeders. And if you know, I don't know whether you are aware, Kalpakam is the solely indigenously designed and developed fast breeder reactor in the world, first of its kind. So give a big hand to India for doing for technology. And I heard the 15 crores per megawatt figure, and I would like to educate him or help him out when later on we will sit with him. Not here. It will not be here. So I will tell you the nuclear costs are not at that level because costs are not seen in that manner, because there is a capital expenditure. I have never agreed with chartered accountants on capex formulas. Operating cost is more important. For example, hydro, everybody will say 9 crores per megawatt. Operating cost of hydro projects is not even 25 paisa per unit. So by using conventional formula of path lines, which is financial modeling, we have failed because this is all the international banker style of marketing project. You must have two parts to it. One is the capital cost model, the other is variable cost model. When you look at variable, then thermal can, especially coal, can never compete with hydro. It cannot compete with nuclear. It cannot compete with solar. So, and nuclear is also renewable. I will explain to you why again, my friend. Renewable is replenishable, real world. That means you can continue that process or you can sustain that process all nuclear reactors are the Indian closed cycle system which we have got is sustainable, and we are moving towards a 10-year path. From now we'll have the first test thorium reactor, and when that comes you'll have no problems of this radiation issues and other, and all this is being done by ICGR, Indira Gandhi Center for that Nuclear Research and Applied Research at Bangalore. So we are now I will also give you an article which we have published. India is the lowest cost nuclear power generator in the world. So give a big hand for that. So now you must be asking me then why we are, because our governments are foolish, why we are buying these reactors and everything from French people. Some promise you have kept. Dr. Manmohan Singh has made some promise, to everybody. So he has to obligate. So Jetapur will never come up, the 10,000 megawatt. It will be embroiled in controversies like our other things. So that is not the way. In fact, I would say never promise these large reactors. Look also at decentralized smaller reactors which are collapsible. The country is not looking at that angle. So nuclear per se is not bad. The problem is when a large reactor fails, you have a problem. And I will also tell you Fukushima, the day that accident happened, I called BBC. They were running a big show. It's the worst disaster on the planet. But I had some friends in Japan who called me up and I asked them why this actually happened. Believe me, it was a diesel generator set that resulted in the nuclear reactor getting into trouble. You know the reason now? I'll tell you. Diesel generators were put in the open with only 3 meters of water rise which could take in the new generator. And when a tsunami comes, you know what is the rise of water. And the entire DG sets were below water. If everybody knows in the industry, any conventional DG set cannot operate continuously for more than 8 hours. They are not continuous running stations. So their ability to run continuously only 8 hours, and you have maximum one backup generator. And these DG sets were supposed to take over the coolant pump in the reactor. And if the coolant pump stops, you know what happens? The reactor temperature goes up and it melts. Right? The meltdown happens. So meltdown did not happen because of any other reason, because of a very stupid idea of design of not paying any attention to the DG sets for backup power or black starts which were lying outside. And this did not happen in another power plant of India where we took care. You know where it was? When our tsunami came at Nagapatnam, Kaiga is in Karnataka, it was absolutely below water, but nothing entered the DG powerhouse where supply was going constantly to the coolant pump. So design of reactors is essential, but at the same time design of auxiliaries and intelligent design of system is more critical to save your nuclear power plant if you don't want to have these backlashes. People do shortcutting, people reduce redundancy. You cannot always reduce redundancy. You can only do it where it is safe. So factors of safety is not only design of reactors and main system, but also the entire power plant. So please don't have any idea in your head that nuclear is not going to come. It will come. The only thing is we must be transparent with our people and the public. Me and Hetal went to Dukovany at Czech Republic, where Europe, nobody wants the nuclear reactors. But believe me, it is one of the safest, and children are taken every week to see the reactor. Whole village in favor of nuclear power. So let us create that environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
I have one point for the 5-star rated ceiling fans. We are quoting the market, they are saying 20% of the energy saving in the 5-star ceiling fans. But when we compare, simple comparison is there is no any technology for the 5-star, for making the 5-star ceiling fans. The conventional ceiling fan of 48 inch, it have of 1200 RPM with a 65 watt power consumption, right? And the 5-star ceiling fan, they are quoting 50 watt power consumption, almost 20% saving. But when we go with the RPM, it's a 958. Yes. Then how you can say these are the saving when you are getting the less airflow?
You see, the 5-star rating is not only on consumption, the volume is also service value is so minimum airflow required is 210 meter cube per minute. That's a requirement. So the 5-star rating is given not only on, it's a service value 210 divided by 50. So 4 minimum is what is required. So RPM in a way has no relevance because it is the total air volume delivered divided by the power. It's not.
Sir, it already gives the 20% less airflow.
No, it is
No.
For the same airflow, my whole point is...
Yeah, that's what CFM is saying, at 1200 RPM and 960 RPM, CFM must be same, what he is telling.
210 meter cube per minute is the flow also required. It is not only the path.
But regarding CFM, we purchase the 5-star and we feel there is a less airflow. There is a less air compared to the conventional fans.
No, that is fine, but see, at 1200 RPM what CFM you are getting, and at 900 RPM if you are getting the same CFM, so then you are saving. If your CFM is less, then it's a cheating. That's the simple case. Yeah, any more question please?
Which was the most challenging job to identify the thieves while reducing their P&D losses? Where the normal theft, which were the theft points, and what was the most dissatisfying moment and what was the most satisfying moment to solve those problems? And how we can convince the people so that they can be made to pay the bill?
A very interesting story to share with you, but in the theft prone area, earlier, our people used to carry out in a very conventional way. First time in 2002, when we were in GED, we first identified the 464 feeders which were high loss making. Because in Gujarat during relevant time, there was a rural, it used to known as a rural feeder, it used to cater the rural and agriculture load. So, out of these we identified certain areas like Godhra, like Veraval, then Kodinar, certain pockets of Jamnagar in Bedi. One of the pocket we found in Bhavnagar where our own helper was selling the electricity on behalf of us. He was Satubha Sarvaiya. And he was such a headstrong person that all the political party also were supporting him. Congress, BJP, both, all were supporting him. So, whenever our people used to go and carry out the raids, there was a lot of resistance. They never used to carry out the vigilance activity. So, in my speech also I mentioned that even one of the member of parliament who is in jail at present, he is a Dinubhai Solanki. He, in Kodinar, he was directly tapping the power to his ice factory. And he never used to allow our people even to raise that transformer center. So in two incidents, why I am quoting, it was such a glaring example that to Satubha Sarvaiya, we booked him under PASA. Though he was put under PASA, the local SP though he was knowing that he is moving around there, but he was not arresting him. So what we did, that when he was sleeping in one hotel, we cornered that hotel. And during night only, the whole hotel was sealed and he was arrested. The kind of things that created an impact that now if the fellow like this is arrested and taken to task, then the message went across like anything. So this was the most glaring example. The second that I mentioned to you, that Dinu Solanki, who is in jail at present, sitting member of parliament, he was such a headstrong person that our people never used to go there, because he was terrorized. So we also booked him. Even I myself carried out the raid. We went with SRP, the Special Reserve Police Force, and asked him that suppose if you will interfere in our this work, then you will be arrested. We made him clear. So even during that time there was a lot of pressure on me from the government, the minister also, but we said that nothing doing. If we want to improve, we will have to do this. So these were the things where we could create an impact. We could create an impact. That is how even I can share you that even the area like Godhra, even I know that the many people used to like that single fadia. The single fadia is very famous even today. from where these Godhra riots people, the train people burnt this. You know, it's such a area that you cannot go. Even when you go, then the people will attack, the women will come out, they will make all kind of allegation. Then even the collector will also that there will be law and order problem, so you don't switch off the feeder. What we said that, whatever they say, let us go in a systematic way. So you know now how this concept of installing a meter on transformer center has come up is a part of energy auditing, energy accounting. Nowadays, पहले तो हमारे फीडर से पावर क्या जाता था, कहाँ जाता था, no accountability, कोई पूछता नहीं था, जो आया वो आया नहीं. I tell you from where this starts now. It's a total business. It's a total business. You know, now we are going in a systematic way. Now since this is just, now you know everyone including politicians also, because from here I went to urban. I tell you, I am giving you another example. When one Soma Gada Patel is member of parliament in Surendranagar, he is a sitting member of parliament, I am talking. His son, he was a Taluka Panchayat president. He was unauthorizedly getting the power, hooking direct in Viramgam. I carried out the raid. There was a phone from government that he is a member of parliament, his son is a president of a municipality, and you are carrying out. मैंने बोला yes, we have to do it, otherwise how we can set an example. वो हमारे लोगों को कॉर्नर किया, हमने बोला कि कॉर्नर नहीं, इसको अरेस्ट करो पहले, जो भी है. We arrested him. As a president he was arrested. And then after, you know, that is how, you know, मैंने बोला ना, कि the distribution is धोखा. Very clear. Very clear. ये, to set an example, these kind of things only helps, and you know, this is possible when we provide a leadership. Suppose if I don't support my engineers, if I don't support my officials, if I don't boost the moral of my people, then you know the things doesn't get improved. So that is how now, you know, now we are in a process of institutionalizing. That why even raids are required. Now sitting in office, we can make out that की consumption pattern क्या है, कौन से एरिया में से pilferage होता है, कौन से कैटेगरी के consumers हैं, कैसे इसको कंटेन किया जा सकता है. Now you know we can go to a micro level, a very micro level. So you know that is how this the distribution.
People are traveling in Mercedes, but they are not paying the bills because they are called farmers.
You have to make them pay. You have to make them pay. No free lunch. No free lunch.
That's what we need.
Cost of service. Yes, I entirely agree. You know, I was the first person that even why we are scared about this agriculture consumers. Because in India, if you see that the agriculture is a primary economy. But you know, unfortunately, this sector is also unnecessarily politicized by the populist way. Even farmers also want, suppose if you go to Andhra, if you go to Maharashtra, in some of the pockets they are giving free power with no power. On the contrary, farmers are just crying that, you know, they are not supplying the power. So free power with no power. So you know, unfortunately this has gone in a very different direction. On the contrary, the farmers community and agriculture communities, there should be a direct interaction with them that you know we are ready to give you the supply power with a subsidized rate, but again you have to pay it proportionately. And you know, in turn they are also getting benefit. And we have seen the example where we have found that even the agriculturists are used to share with them that once upon a time you spent for mobile, now you spend for your motorbike, and why you are unnecessarily scared to pay the electricity bill. And when they are convinced properly, you know, they also realize.
That's right.
So you know, this has gone out of the populism of one political class from where they feel that we get the maximum dividend, but it is not so.
Otherwise, one-time 100% solar pumping solution to each farmer.
Thank you. So friends, we need officers, IAS officers like H.S. Patel in this country. Absolutely we need. Yeah, any more questions please? Yeah, there is one more, please. Last question, okay, fine.
Good evening, sir. My question is to H.S. Patel, sir. I have inquired in DGVCL in Surat for net metering for solar project. Torrent is giving PPA, Torrent is doing PPA with the parties for net metering, but DGVCL is not doing as far as my knowledge. So is there any chances like customer can do net metering? He can install big project and then he can earn money by excess energy generation.
You know, now we have also policy in place. I don't know you have approached to whom, because
I approached to Godhani sir.
Because you are in
Godhani sir in DGVCL Surat.
So Godhani is a deputy engineer in Commerce Department. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, recently the government has declared the Surat as a solar city. To answer the question to one of our JETCO colleague also, that what he mentioned, that it is a fact that in urban areas now there is a issue of a setting of a substation and evacuation of a power because of right of way and so many other issues. So you know, now there is a concept of a distributed generation, and because of all these reasons, and now the policy is in place. I don't know, you have approached to a person, he must not have guided properly, and the similar means the policy is conveyed and to be implemented in this whole Surat city as a pilot project, like other city in Gandhinagar, Baroda, Bhavnagar and Rajkot. These are the city taken up as a pilot project. So better you come to me directly, I'll advise you.
Okay, then
no problem.
Okay, then I will meet you in the office.
Okay,
I will.
You come to me or you meet our IJ Patel chief engineer. I'll convey him that for a solar this part, you will get the proper response.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, friends. I think we had enough talk since morning on various kind of energies. And many people have gained energies, but many people are still losing energies while talking and talking. And I think Professor has already conveyed proposed a vote of thanks for all the sponsors and supporters, but let me here propose vote of thanks for all our guest who has been here since morning, Dr. Prakasam Tata, who has already came from US and Andhra to here. Then Yogendra Prasad, P.H. Rana, H.S. Patel sir is here, Surendra Negi is, we have here on the dais, Vinny Bhagwat is already here, Rajiv Srivastav is here, U.C. Jain is here, Dr. B.G. Desai is here, Girish Rana is here, and out of all, without the audience this program cannot be successful, and I have seen many varieties of people in the audience, like people from L&T Surat is there, people from ONGC Khambat is there, Dr. Sarma from EQDC is there. So whoever is left, I propose vote of thanks for all of you, but let me invite all of you on the dais for a group photo first. Yeah, please come here everybody for a group photo, whoever is there. Thank you very much.
So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then seem improbable, and then, when we summon the will, they soon seem inevitable. Christopher Reeve. 30th December 2010. Foundation ceremony of Gujarat's solar park. "12 months later, 28th January 2012. 214 megawatts of solar power commissioned at world's first multi-developer, multi-facility, multi-technology, multi-beneficiary solar park at Charanka village, District Patan, Gujarat. 19th April 2012. Gujarat dedicates 500 megawatt power generation capacity to the nation, as Asia's largest solar park is formally inaugurated in Gujarat.
We are doing this mainly to contribute in the war against global warming and climate change.
The story of Gujarat's solar park is a historic feat in itself. Visualized, planned and swiftly implemented in record time of under a year. The most notable aspects were its execution and the political willingness to go the extra mile. A plethora of complexities had to be resolved before the park could see the light of day. Acquiring land, developing infrastructure, and handing over plots to individual developers had to be done simultaneously, while sensitively handling the issue of encroachment of land pockets by locals. Approach and internal roads had to be built. Reservoirs and systems for storing, treating, and distributing water had to be created. The project site fronted the desert of Kutch, and harsh weather conditions proved to be major constraints, with frequent flooding and the remoteness of the village adding to construction costs. Total quality management played a crucial part in achieving the success of the project with a regularly monitored, web-based system specially developed to ensure the timely accessibility of both data and information. While 1,500 laborers diligently worked round the clock, developers were taken into confidence through periodic meetings where they were updated regarding the project's development and revisions at every stage. A team of experienced officials were available on-site 24/7 to promptly address clearance and approval issues. This helped to eliminate redundancies and reduce the duplication of efforts. Activities were completed within the scheduled time frame as every member of the project worked steadfastly around bottlenecks and ensured that the project was commissioned within schedule. A win-win project for all segments, the solar park saw many far-reaching consequences. Uniquely integrating environment, infrastructure, and social perspectives, the park led to vast areas of government wasteland being put to good use with gainful employment benefiting larger rural sections and communication networks and irrigation water flowing through villages.
This innovative approach will contribute to India's energy requirements and will create jobs and welfare without generating additional greenhouse gas emissions.
As a prime example of energy conservation, with rainwater harvesting, carbon emission reduction, and groundwater recharge happening on a continual scale, the Gujarat Solar Park at Charanka bears testimony to one truth, that harnessing divine energies is the only way forward. And having the courage to go beyond one step today is the only way to a better tomorrow. Gujarat Solar Park at Charanka, partnering a journey of brilliance.